If you guys are like me, you have seen some of your favorite brands coming out with liquid blushes or stick blushes. So today we're trying everything from Charlotte Tilbury all the way to Dior and a few in between. So we're gonna go through the full application process, and yes, I wore these for 8 hours so you can see which ones really work best on our more mature skin. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Jody, I'm 55. Think of me as your midlife beauty bestie, and I normally apply my blush a little bit more normal than this, but I wanted to see how these new blushes apply. And we've got everything from $24 down to Dior for $44. I wanted to see how they apply, but more importantly, I wanted to see how they lasted on our more mature skin, because we have moments of heat and yeah, we don't want to use powder. So how do these work with the uniqueness that those of us that are over a certain age have with our comes to our makeup and our skin? I want to know, and I bet you do too. Let's get into the video because I'm going to share with you more about each of these blushes and a few disappointments with some of these big brands. And yeah, we're going to get into it. If you have mature skin like I do and you like the look of blush, but you don't like the look of blush, you know what I'm saying? You like the look of flushed cheeks, then you are in for a fun video today. However, if you've been looking for blush lately, it's super confusing because all of our favorite brands have recently come out with a stick blush. Last year it was lip oils that had a moment, and this year everyone's got blush sticks. So in today's video, we're gonna take a look at the new Charlotte Tilbury blush stick. Makeup by Mario has a new blush stick, and Haus Labs has a new blush stick. Even Dior has come out with a blush stick in the same colors as their highly viral, and I even loved it, powder blush. So we're gonna give that one a try. And I have not tried the milk ones yet, but everyone seems to love them. But the ones that seem to love them are have been born several decades after I was, so we're gonna give that one a try too. So let's see if we can find a new cream blush for more mature skin. You guys, if I can find these hair clips, I will link them down below. They used to be on Amazon. I haven't been able to find them lately. The key to them are the length. You want extra long, because if you've got hair like I do, the shorter ones, you get your hair stuck in that little spring. The extra long ones are way better. But I haven't been able to find them recently. So anyway, I will keep a lookout, and if I find them, I will link them down below. All right, so let's get into this video. I don't have on any blush today, and you might be asking, Jody, how are you gonna do a wear test on 5 different blushes? And I don't know. I'll tell you how we're gonna do it. We're gonna stripe the face, and we're just gonna wear it like that because I'm going to be in the house all day. Well, I shouldn't say in the house. I'll be outside, but I won't leave the property, so no one else will see me. So I don't really care if I have a stripy face today. What I care about is finding a blush that will sit on top of mature skin, on top of a foundation, which I have on. I'm not going to set this foundation with powder because I really want to see if there is some bleeding, if you will, or some smudging or some running, which I don't expect with these blushes, but I've been surprised before. Then maybe you could set a powder between your foundation and your blush, or you can always set a powder on top of your blush to keep it in place longer. However, powder on more mature skin where you might have some pores or some textures or some wrinkles, powder on top of textured skin just has a tendency to look more cakey, especially when you're outside and you add the element of, yes, heat. So I want to see how these cream blushes wear on foundation and on skin that does not have any extra gripping power to help them stay in place. So then you will know if you have to use anything else with these or not. I hope the answer is no. All right, so let's get into these because some pretty cool new products today. First up is this one by Milk. This is the Cooling Jelly Lip and Cheek Tint, which I love about that you can use it on both your lip and your cheek. I mean, it looks like, it's called jelly. It looks like, oh wow, ooh. Okay, if you guys have never used these before, prepare yourself. It says jelly, it looks and acts like Jello. Yeah. There's a few jokes in there, but I'm not gonna say them today. I have this in the color Fresh. It is very, very cool looking. I mean, I can see why this probably went viral. If I was like 16 or 17, I would probably think this is super cool. That is very pigmented. I have that much on my finger already just from when I was just playing with my makeup. This comes in 6 shades and it sells for $26. There's not a lot. Wow, you guys, that's all you get for $26. I am going to just get a little bit so that you can see again how pigmented that is. Again, this is in color Fresh. I do like the idea of it being a tint, T-I-N-T. So I'm just gonna put it right here on my cheek. That is a very soft, pretty color. I will always apply my cream blushes on usually the back of my hand and then pick them up with a brush. This, I'm afraid I would like tear it or rip half of it off if I did that first. So I think this method is fine. It is very different to play with it that way. I'm just gonna go a little aggressive because I wanna see how these wear at the 8-hour mark. So it might start off a little strong, but then again, it may not. I can see why these are popular because they have that flush effect to them where you can still see your skin underneath and it's not just a solid stripe of color. So I do really like that. I don't like that it's $26 for such a small amount, but it is a small compact. It does fit nicely in your purse. It is for lip and cheek, so I can see why this is a viral product. It has all the viral elements, if you will. Nice color, and again, that is in the color Fresh. Next up is this new one by Haus Labs. This is called their Color Fuse Longwear Hydrating Glassy Lip and Cheek Blush Balm. All right, it's a lot in that name. You guys, this is even worse than the Milk one. That's all the product you get. That's it. It's all the way to the top for $34. Are we getting ripped off or what? I'm feeling like I'm getting ripped off right now. That is terrible. Haus Labs, I'm a big fan of your concealer and your foundation, but this better work really amazing for me to even feel good about paying $34 for it. It comes in 12 shades. 4 of them are new. This is one of the new shades. This is the color Glassy Ginger, and I don't know, guys. I'm a little taken back right now by the amount. To apply this, I'm going to use BK Beauty brush 114. This is usually known as a concealer brush. I find this to be a little too wide for concealer. On my more mature skin, I like a much smaller brush for concealer. Any fluffy eyeshadow brush will work. I like this for contouring. I also like this for blush because of how small, thin it is and precise, so I can really lightly pat the blush on my face. Again, normally I would just put this on the back of my hand and then pick it up with a brush, but because of the shape of this, and to me it seems a little fragile by how little is there, I'm just going to pick it up with the side of this brush. Maybe I should try my finger and see how that works as well. Again, this is Glassy Ginger, and I'm gonna really just put it on pretty aggressive at the bottom of this brush so we can see how it wears. I will tell you, just by applying this, I really like the way the jelly one went on a little better from Milk. In fact, you know what, let's just do this because I really want to be able to see how these go on. You guys, that feels so weird on your face. It feels like taking a spoonful of Jell-O. That's exactly what that feels like on your face. But man, that is a really pretty color. I like the color from Haus Labs as well. I think it looks nice. Obviously, the placement is not that great, but that's my fault because that's where I put it. It doesn't look as, I don't know. I think it's okay. You know, I think instead of putting these on with a brush, just so that I get the same amount of product for each space or each blush, I'm just gonna go in just like this. I think I'm overcomplicating it. That way we can really see the difference in the way it applies. So in case you don't want to use a brush, you can just, and I mean, for that little of amount, you don't want to waste any. You don't want any to go to your brush and then not get it all on your face. So there are 2 of them so far. All right, you guys, also $34 and a new product on the market. This one is Makeup by Mario's blush. So same price as the, Why give me this much of a container to only give me a quarter of it full of product? Now, let me just say this. If you left this in your car, it's gonna melt and it's gonna be ruined. So you guys, this is very disappointing. This better wear like gold on my face all day, Mario. All right, let's see what color I picked up. I have soft peach. And now I will say right off the bat, it is a little bit larger of a product in terms of the size. So you can see that compared to the Haus Labs. So application wouldn't be as precise with this one because it is a little bit bigger. But right off the bat, for $34, you do get more in this one than the Haus Labs. And remember, I have this in soft peach. Ooh. That is really pretty. Okay, I like that a lot. Yeah, that's a pretty color. That is definitely a nice soft peach color. We're just gonna keep going down one side of my face because I wanna see how these all look compared to one another so that we can really get a sense for which ones last and which ones didn't. So next up, we are gonna go to a $42 one. This one is also new. This is by Charlotte Tilbury. This comes in 6 shades. Yeah, 6 shades, and this is the Unreal Lip and Cheek Glow Blush Stick with hyaluronic acid. Okay, so the point so far of all these, they all say lip and cheek. So I do love the fact that you get 2 products kind of for the price of one, but you don't get very much product of any of them. So the Charlotte Tilbury one is called Rosy Glow. I didn't do a very good job matching the shades, but that's okay. This one is very similar in size of product to the Makeup by Mario in terms of the width, a true blush stick. Now let's see, for $42, do we get more product? I mean, we could always just look at the ounces on the bottle, but that wouldn't be nearly as much fun. All right, so Charlotte, all right, that's the top of it. Oh gosh. So for $8 more, you do get a little more product. Not much, but a little more. I'm just really shocked by the Haus Labs and the Makeup by Mario, the amount of product that you get. I was not expecting that. That is a big wow factor in my video that I wasn't expecting. Okay, so Rosy Glow. Let's just see how this goes on. Ooh, that is very pigmented. Yeah, that's really, really pigmented. Really pretty, but I have to say so far, you guys, I like the way that the milk one went on, the very first one that we had. I just think it looked less of a color. You know the difference between a lipstick and a lip gloss? You know, a lipstick is a solid color and a lip gloss is just like a punch of color, like a tint. That is what I am seeing in the differences of the formula of all of these so far. Is that one by Milk, which was also the least expensive, weird texture, little learning curve there, but it applied like a flush of color or a lip gloss in terms of the opaqueness of the color, where the others have definitely applied more like a lip, like a lipstick. Now, the difference is you could apply these on the back of your hand with a brush, lighter application, and you would get a less solid look. So there is some play in these. So I do like that you could go flush to blush depending on how much you applied, where with the one by Milk, you really couldn't work that up to be more of a solid or a more pronounced color that you can with these other ones. So you don't have as much variety in terms of creating a look with that one as you do the other ones. But remember, all these say lip too, so there's that. All right, let's jump up to what I'm assuming is the most expensive. I probably should have looked, but it's Dior. So I kind of already assumed it would be the most expensive. And I was right, it is. It's $44, so it is $2 more than the Charlotte Tilbury one. This is in color pink. This is said to be the exact same color as the blush, the Rosy Glow powder blush. So if you like that Rosy Glow powder blush, and when it first came out, it was kind of hard to get a hold of. I do like it, but it is powder, so it looks a little, I wouldn't say cakey on my more mature skin. I do feel like it texturizes my cheeks a little bit more, and I don't reach for that one as much. I really love this color, so if this works as well as I would like it to, then maybe this is, I mean, it's $44. So it's classic Dior. It's got really beautiful packaging, but that is all the amount of product that you get. This one doesn't say lip also in the name or the title, but I'm sure you could use it on your lip. I don't know why you couldn't, where the other ones say they are for your lip. Now this one does apply a little bit more like the one by Milk. I just keep wanting to call it by Jelly. I think 'cause I'm a big Jelly Roll fan, but this has nothing to do with Jelly Roll. I do like how this one isn't as solid as a color as that Charlotte Tilbury. That Charlotte Tilbury one's a little bit too pigmented for me for a blush. Now again, you could really lightly tap it on a brush, tap it on your cheek, and you would get a much lighter application than that. So just know that it wouldn't always wear like this. You could vary the thickness or the coverage that you wanted. I mean, when I look at these, I really like, if somebody's new to my video and they're just like fast forwarding, they're like, what the heck is she doing? So we're gonna go ahead and go on the day like this, and we're gonna see how these wear. I'm not gonna use the phone. I'm not gonna use the phone on this side of my face. I'm gonna leave my hair pulled back. Should I? No, I don't think I will. I will just wear my hair like I normally do so that we can see, does any of it wear off? I won't be putting sunglasses on today. That would probably be helpful just to give some appearance as to how this wears on sunglasses, but we usually don't have our blush that low that often. So I think this will be a really good representation of a typical day, and see how our blush looks. So I'll check in with you guys in 8 hours. Let's see what we've got. So just in order again, we've got Milk for $24, Haus Labs for $34, Makeup by Mario for $34, Charlotte Tilbury for $42, and Dior for $44. All right, so, and then this side is absolutely nothing. Well, I don't know why I did that, but that's what we got going on today. So my dog will look at me crazy. My husband might even look at me crazy, but that's okay. They get it. All right, I'll see you guys in just a couple hours. Okay, so it has been 7 hours. I didn't do it. I couldn't make it 8 hours, you guys, because this was more stickier than I expected it to be. I don't know why it seems like my hair gets stuck in my blush more when my blush is all the way down my face. I don't, because my face curves in, so I would have thought that down here wouldn't be sticky at all, but you can really see it. The Charlotte Tilbury one moved quite a bit because my hair kept getting stuck in it, which made me pause it around the noon time frame, so about halfway through this process. I went and kind of tapped on them to see how they felt, and I have to say, if I was to hug someone right now, the Charlotte Tilbury one and maybe the Dior one would leave a streak. The other ones felt like they dried down a little bit, and what I mean by that is they don't feel tight or dry on my skin, but they don't look as shiny or as, wet or as movable as the Charlotte Tilbury one does. It still looks really, I don't like this one by Charlotte Tilbury. I don't like it for a couple reasons. One, it is so pigmented that I think, and remember that's this one right here, if you are somewhat new to makeup, I really think you would struggle with working with this one because it's so pigmented. It reminds me of the liquid blushes by e.l.f. You just need the smallest amount, and once you get it in the wrong place, if you do, blending it out takes some time, and you end up moving some of that foundation underneath in the process of getting it to the blend that you want. So you just don't, you're not left with an easy application or a nice final look without a lot of extra work. So when a blush is that pigmented, I find that they usually work better as an under sculpt. But because this one is still so moist this many hours later, I'm not sure that it would work under painted or under sculpting. And for those of you that are new, what that means is putting your blush and your contour, your highlighter, your concealer on first, and then your foundation. It gives a really pretty look. It's my favorite way of wearing makeup, but I don't know that foundation on top of this Charlotte Tilbury would work very well because it just has it's still so moist after all these hours. The one by Milk, I really do like it. I can see me wearing that one a lot. I was looking at these earlier and I think that's my favorite. It applied the easiest. I really liked that tint look or the flush look to the skin. So that one I will definitely be wearing. That second one by Haus Labs, I really do like the color. I just find that it seems a little expensive to me, $34 for the amount that you get. The Makeup by Mario one is the one in the middle. Really, really loving that peach color. What was it called? Glazed peach or something? I'll link all these down below so that you guys have them. Soft peach. I really like that soft peach a lot, and I think with a different application process with a little bit of a brush on the back of my hand, I'll really like how that looks. The Charlotte Tilbury one, it is her classic pillow, soft pillow, pink pillow look, and it would make a really pretty lipstick. I just don't know that I would, yeah, you know what? I would coordinate that. I would coordinate that with a lighter application that I did, and then on the lips, that would be a really pretty look. So let me take my words back. And then Dior is Dior is Dior. I loved this color when it came to the powder blush they first came out with, so I definitely love it now. I think of all these, if I was to rank them of my favorite, I would probably go the one by Milk would be first, the Makeup by Mario would be second, Dior would be third, Haus Labs would be fourth, and Charlotte Tilbury would be fifth. For a variety of reasons, from the formula to the wear to the application, the final look after 7 hours. This little one by Milk, I really do like it. And again, I have it in color Fresh, so watch for that one because I'll be wearing that in a lot of videos. Well, I'll wear all these at some point, but I think this one is my hands down winner. So let me see. I kind of put on a little lip gloss before I got on here because after 7 hours, I looked a little like I needed something. I needed something besides this, I should say. So let's just see what this looks like on the lips because, boy, it just feels funny. Yeah, I just put it on the bottom lip so you can see, just like on the cheeks, it gives that touch of color without looking too pigmented. And that look is very much in right now. It's a tint of color or a flush of color. So when you can find one product that gives you that tint and flush, I'm all for it. So hands down, this would be my winner. I do like the other ones for sure, but for current trends, for a lighter application for this time of the year, that one by Milk is gonna be my number one. If you guys like makeup comparisons like this, then be sure to check out this video where I compared 2 foundations side by side and one was a winner. That does it for me today, you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.